Hey there, this is Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative, and today I am going to show you how to assemble the layered floral slimline card that I've designed. Now the SVG for the layers comes with these 5 layers. It's a little tricky to see because the yellow dots are the centers, and then there is also a layer for just the slimline base itself. Now you can, instead of cutting the plain rectangle, you can use your card base as that color, which I think is probably the easiest way to go. But if you wanted to use a different type of paper, like say like a pattern paper, and I'll show you an example of that, that's what this is for. Now in the bundle you will also get a slimline card base as well as a slimline envelope. And you'll also get a set of sentiments that are sort of everyday sentiments for any kind of card. But the thing I really want to show you is how do we assemble the various layers. We're going to start with the leaves layer, which is the 3rd layer, and the card base. So obviously they layer together to create the design. So it's basically just a matter of adhering the different layers down to the card base in the correct order. So what you're going to want to do is adhere the leaves layer down first, and it should line up just exactly with the card base front. It measures 3 3/4 across by 9 inches tall. Basically, I'm going to take my glue, flip this over. I'm using art glitter glue. This is my favorite glue basically. And just add glue to the back of this, and I'm not being super careful. I do suggest using a wet adhesive because you may need to adjust this as you're setting it down, especially as we get into the more detailed layers. And if you're using like a tape or a dry adhesive that like bonds kind of instantly, then it's virtually impossible to adjust things as you're going. So just keep that in mind. Now this glue can dry pretty quickly, so I'm trying to move fairly quickly. And then I'm just going to try to line this up along the top and the side. Okay, so that's it for layer 1 is down. Now I would suggest at this point you should inlay the centers into the flowers. I think it's much easier to do it now than it is after you've got more layers on. So I am going to do that now. Now let's move on to the flower layer. Again, I'm going to try to line it up with the top, and then you try to line it up over the green sections that the flowers are covering, obviously. So, and here's where having the ability to kind of adjust things is good. Some of your, you might be off a little bit, like I'm not perfect on this, and so I will kind of trim this off if I need to after I've added the outline layer. I don't worry about that. Like I actually think that looks kind of normal, where you've got a little bit green around the centers of the flowers. And honestly, once you get all of the layers together, I don't think anybody's going to notice, because it's just very pretty once it's all layered together. Alright, so for the final layer, I'm going to try to not get too much glue on, because as you can see, the lines are really delicate on this, and I don't have my fine tip on this glue bottle. I wish I did. It's out of commission right now. So I'm going to do my best to just get glue on the parts that are a little bit thicker. So just be aware that like you probably won't be able to glue down every single tiny piece with this, just because it's pretty delicate. probably the trickiest part to line up. Okay, and there you go. To put the Slimline envelope together, it's fairly straightforward. So generally speaking, I like to put the card in while I'm making the folds. So with this guy, with the lower flap, I'm going to use some 1/8 of an inch double stick tape, which is what I highly suggest for this, because there's not a lot of wiggle room, given that the envelope is cut out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and so I didn't have a lot of space for extra coverage, if you will. Then you can also put tape down the side of the flaps that are on the short flaps, right along the edge. And then put tape along the upper edge of the flap. So you are going to have to keep track of which flap's going on top and which flap is going on bottom, and then the small flaps go in. So I would remove the backing tape off of all of the double stick tape. Fold your inside flaps down first, and then fold the bottom flap up. So then you're going to have a little bit of adhesive exposed here, but that's okay, on the ends here, but that's okay because we're going to cover that with the top flap. So then you would take the backing off the tape on the top and then fold this shut to create your envelope. Now I'm not going to do that right now because I do want to be able to take my card out still. Not quite done with it, but that is how I advise you to create your envelope. So here are a couple ways that I have created different cards and different looks using various colors to change the feel of the kit. So kind of fun. This is one of the ingredients that comes in the set, and I did use some foam tape to pop that up, but it's pretty dimensional, really fun, and I added some glitter drops to the centers. This one, I made some poppies by using black for the centers, and then I added some Nuvo drops on top of the centers to kind of highlight them, and didn't even bother with any sentiment because it's just so pretty as is. Here's the one you saw me put together, and I added the Choose Happy sentiment for that. I had the machine draw out choose, and then I colored it in, and then I cut out happy. So that one's really pretty. Very sort of traditionally floral, more springy or summer-like. And then finally I want to show you, I made a holiday version by using, sort of traditional gold, white, green, and red, and then I put some pattern paper behind it, and so I thought that turned out really, really pretty too. Very fun. So lots of different ways you can use this kit, and I hope you will check it out. Hopefully I'll have more of these coming in the future, so there'll be many more options that you'll have to choose from. I would greatly appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. And if you're interested in learning about more SVG kits that will be coming in the future, as well as tips on how to use your Cricut ScanNCut or Silhouette machines, I would love it if you'd consider subscribing to my channel as well. Thanks! Have a great day!